and there's something that's kind of related to demisexual that's like gray asexual, that it's kind of in that gray area, clearly, between like being asexual and being a sexual person. Because it's a huge spectrum.
Yeah.
Very huge spectrum. We're talking pre-podcast that were like, any questions that are like, do asexuals date? Do asexuals masturbate? Do asexuals feel romantic connection? The answer is always going to be some do, some don't.
And are we on the record right now?
Yes.
Because I masturbated.
Nothing.
I was expecting a studio applause.
You don't have that program. But yeah, so I guess tell me a little bit about your particular brand of asexuality, because it's different for everyone.
Yeah,
how they experience it.
Yeah, because the thing that I'm confused about a lot of the time is just not knowing if I experience love in general to in a romantic setting, like romantic love. Because when I'm moving in with these people and I'm thinking of it like, oh, this is going to be great. I get to like hang out with someone every day. And
this
like,
person I like a lot.
Yeah. It's like, this is a great person. But like, I feel like that, like people that I meet after 2 days or whatever and being like, oh, like I really got to know this person. Like I almost feel as strongly towards them or like towards like friends or whatever as.
Or a long-term partner.
Yeah.
Interesting. That is interesting, because the other thing to kind of talk about is like a lot of asexual people will say, will identify like, this is how I identify sexually as asexual, and this is how I identify romantically. So like hetero-romantic, homo-romantic, bi-romantic, pan-romantic, or aromantic. Aromantic, which is no romantic attraction to, just like asexual is no sexual attraction to other people. Aromantic is no romantic feelings for another person, and you can have one and not have the other, and or be anywhere on that spectrum. So like that's the romantic component you're talking about. So not totally sure if that's a thing for you or not.
Because like I've had just as much love for a man at one point, but not want to do anything sexually. So, which isn't fair for that man.
I mean, if you're both on board, then great. If it's a consensual setup, then yeah. So it's kind of just you feel similarly between, say different genders possibly, or different levels of intimacy or contact, like
because it's kind of like almost feels like a go with the flow kind of thing, where it's like if I'm like, oh, you want this, well, it doesn't make a difference to me, so I guess we'll do this kind of thing.
Is that so if we're talking about like, say, relationships you've had in the past, if you've been dating people and stuff like that, is that a thing that you have done in relationships, or just like you want to do the thing and I like you, so, and I want you to be happy, so yeah, I'll do whatever you want, maybe. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of mutable in that it's like, okay, well, I don't care one way or the other. I kind of feel neutral about the thing. So like, sure, I'll do that for you because I like you.
Yeah. And I've definitely felt that before, where like if someone asks me out and like, and I'm like, yeah, sure, like I'll go on that date every time. I'll go on that date because I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, why not? Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah. So then I've gotten into relationships through that. Like if they'd keep on asking on the date, then
I'll just keep saying yes.
Yeah. And I'm like, I like hanging out with this person, so.
Yeah. And I mean that's a real thing for sure. Like something that I find attractive in people is their level of attractiveness for me. Like if someone's showing me interest, don't take this as a
you are going down a dark path right now.
Nobody. But like if somebody's showing interest in me, then I'm like, oh, okay, I see that.
20
like
people just lined up here with flowers and
at our like Speaker's Corner storefront here.
Yeah.
It was signs.
Yeah.
Remember? Did you ever watch like Electric Circus and like Speaker's Corner and shit?
Well,
Are you that old?
I watched like the Much Music.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? The Much Music.
I watched The Much Music. Me and my cousin were crazy about Electric Circus because we just want to be strippers, and that's just like like something that happened at Much Music, like in the same studio, I'm sure, where it was just like a nightclub, but like it broadcasted that at all times of the day of people just like being sexy and like fashionable and like just dancing, like just very funny. Anyways, sidebar. So have you found in your well, first I'll just ask, you've had sexual experiences with people?
Yeah.
And what are do you generally feel, how do you generally feel about your sexual experiences you've had with people?
It's good.
Great.
No, yeah.
Like I'm just curious about, what might be going on in your head at a particular time if something sexual is happening.
Because what I like is knowing people, right? So if I'm getting to know people, and that's what really makes me happy, is to be able to really know someone.
Yeah.
So like when you're having sex with someone, you're getting to know them further than anyone else is. So that's the experience that I like, is I'm knowing more about a person.
Yeah. So, you're seeing them in this new way, like this vulnerable way, right? Like, yeah, that's totally true for sex. Like you really see a person, like no walls or like filters down often.
Yeah, because I don't think you truly know someone until that moment.
Yeah, there are lots of times where I'm just like, let's have sex, because how else do I know I like you?
Yeah.
Like that's how I find that out.
Yeah. And then after, not for me.
No, sorry. Yeah, I break a lot of hearts probably that way, but like,
do you ever vocalize like, not for me, and just walk out and that's the last time they've ever seen you?
In the room, but like the next day, like, or a couple days later, or like over text or something.
Yeah.
Or if like they try, I sometimes wait, like especially now that it's just like casual stuff and like they're not in love with me, like I'm not really breaking these people, but like I'll wait until the next time they like ask me out, and then I'll be like, at that point, I'll try to like just be like, I don't know what I say. It's tough, like, because you want to be a little truthful, like we didn't connect, or like we didn't gel, or the chemistry or whatever needs to be there wasn't there. But you don't want to like leave the person worse off than when you met them, like than before. You don't want to like just tear people apart, like, so it's just like, oh yeah, well, I am not really, having new partners right now, and like, or whatever, like just try to like, have you ever, okay, here's a question. Have you ever, I'm sure you have, had this conversation with a partner, and how has it kind of been received?
I mean, I feel like there's so much that I just can't explain at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've definitely had a conversation to this extent, but I blacked it out. I have no recollection. No, I don't know. I think that a lot of the time people will try to explain it in their way that they understand it, but then but people just sometimes don't, and it just doesn't connect with you, kind of thing. But also, if I don't have an explanation, then there's nothing I'm fighting for. So
you're like, sure.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Once again, it's like, sure, whatever you want, baby. Whatever you choose to think.
Yeah.
Is that something that, are you seeing anyone right now?
No.
Is this something that you might, like, do you date online? Anything like that?
I mean, yeah. So, well, not crazy, but I swipe on Tinder.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I
Is-
don't.
Do you meet people on Tinder?
I've gone on 2 Tinder dates.
Yeah.
One of them, I was like, wow, like I want to, like I don't care like friendship or like dating, like I just want to continue like hanging out with this person, you know, and I guess that's like just my standpoint on everyone that I like.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yes, I
don't
want to
care
see you
hanging out.
more.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to have you in my life now.
Yeah. And then I got ghosted.
Oh, that sucks.
But the thing was, and let me just air this out right now.
Please do.
So we go on this date, right?
Yeah.
And like the date was basically just walking, right?
Yeah.
And so obviously like we had coffee and she's like, "Oh, do you want to walk me to work?" So like if you want someone to walk you to work, then you have to like them, right? Because you're taking them to your workplace, so now they know where you work.
True. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and assuming I'm not an insane person, you're wrong. But then, towards the end of the date, she was like, "Next Friday, we should have brunch and pick the location."
Oh, wow.
She stated it, picked the location, the time, everything. And I was like, yeah,
Great.
yeah, that sounds great. Never heard from her again.
Oh, what happened?
Well, I started doing some Instagram creeping recently because I was like, what happened?
What? Yeah, you need to know.
I need to find this person. I need last name.
And you're not a crazy person, you already mentioned, which is not a red flag in any way
Yeah.
of you actually being a crazy. I'm not crazy.
I'm not crazy. I could have went to her work, everyone, okay? But instead I Instagram creeped.
No. And what did you find?
That she's dating someone else now.
Yeah.
So she must have been. She must
yeah.
have started seeing someone else.
Yeah, right. But why not just say, I know it's hard, as I demonstrated earlier, because you don't exactly know what to say. But, like, say you got to say something. Yeah, you can't just, like, well, I'm sure everyone ghosts nowadays with all the fucking Tinder and bullshit. But, like, yeah, say something. Be respectful.
Yeah, you ruined my life.
Yeah, you're a broken man. Is that something you would ever being asexual or on the spectrum, you would ever like write it on a profile, on an online profile?
No, because the thing is that I have to have a halfway decent long conversation before I'll go on a date with anyone. Like just
Okay,
or if the bio's good. But if there's no bio or anything, then I'm not. But like, yeah. So maybe I would. Yeah, I guess I could put that if I was considerate.
You meditate on it, and we'll get back to it.
Yeah.
I feel like we should probably take a break at this point, in which I'm going to talk about the sponsors a little bit. One is Unicorn Collaborators, which... Cody, do you like the harness that I'm wearing?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's by Unicorn Collaborators. They're 2 fantastic queer unicorns that have been doing leather work here in Toronto for about 5 years now. They're fantastic fucking people. They love to make products that fit a variety of body types. They love to do creative custom work with people. Like, this is a collaboration that they did that is just really cool and unique.